Let's get some names. As I said, my name's Mikey. Let's get your name.
My name is Badru.
Badru, yeah.
Positive East.
Okay, Badru, yeah.
I'm Yuriza from Positive East as well.
Okay, Yuriza, yeah.
And Juliet Formby from Hoxton Health.
Okay, I just want to point out, you don't have to be from somewhere to join this. You can be, who have we got over? You're sitting a little bit far away there. Come closer. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Laura and I'm eating my lunch.
Okay,
so if you're eating lunch, you're welcome to join.
From lunchtime, yeah. And
I'm Margot. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm just rocking the blue, but I'm not the only one, obviously. Actually, it's like blue,
There's
kind of
blue
like different
theme.
shades of blue and kind of, I don't know, maritime vibes.
Yeah, maritime.
Spider-Man vibes as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me.
So, has anyone got anything they would like to start off with? Anything they'd like to just kick off the conversation with? Any thoughts, comments, observations, suggestions, ideas, notions, emotions, anything?
Yeah, we can talk about the weather. The weather is just changing from sunshine to drizzling and everything.
Yeah.
And actually, that's how the world is. It is ever changing.
Yeah.
And we human beings, we are very, very hostile to changes.
Are we hostile? Okay, that's a very good point.
And I think this is the right forum really to discuss changes, to see how the world is going and address health issues of communities and also the well-being of people around us.
Is there any changes that are happening for the better, would you say?
Well, as you're aware, yesterday there was a major change in the politics of the UK, and we think that change will continue to happen as we go. But as for me, my background is public health, and I'm focusing too much on sexual health.
Yeah.
I feel that the communities around us, young people as well as old people, should start to think about sexual health in a very different way. To understand really that sexual health is a very important part of health. And it is not all about sex. So I think that we can discuss about
it's also about health, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got two things on the table there. We've got the change of government, we've got sexual health. It's two big subjects. Margot?
I think in terms of changes and communities' well-being, I feel like, yes, this change gave me a headache, so my well-being has been...
Why did it give you a headache?
Just because I feel like the situation politically in Britain right now is just so unstable. Is maybe, like, I don't mind changes, but right now maybe we don't see these changes. I mean, maybe people already experience the changes.
As Badru said, is it just that we just don't like change? We just, as human beings, any kind of change just, makes us feel a little bit kind of uncertain. I mean, let's go around the table. Do you like change?
Well, it depends what the change is, but I think at the moment things are so bad that the last thing most people are thinking about is their health and looking after themselves when they, if they can't heat their homes. They're not going to go to the next stage of being proactive about looking after their health.
Okay, so there's more immediate concerns really in a way than just what's going on with your health, which is about eating and staying warm. I mean, luckily it's fairly warm. It is October, but it's fairly warm so far. Are you keeping warm? Come and join us. Hello. Yes, come and welcome. We have got Margot. We have Juliet. Is that right? Yes. Yurisa and Badru, and what's your name?
Tess.
Tess, and we have got Laura over here. I'm Mikey. At the moment, we're talking about change. Badru has said human beings don't really like change, but at the moment we're going through all sorts of change.
We're programmed and we're conditioned and we're taught that way at school from a very young age. So, that's why we get stuck in this programming.
Yeah, but at the moment we've got changes, or we maybe don't even like. We've got the changes. Juliet's talking about the fact that there's a lot of people here interested in health, but people are not interested in their health when they're more concerned about staying warm or just paying for food and paying bills.
Yeah, exactly. Your health is your wealth.
Health is wealth.
I'm a natural health practitioner.
Right, okay.
Enough.
Yeah.
So I'm a certified emotion code and body code practitioner.
Right.
So I release trauma, trapped emotions that's stuck in the body and heart walls as well from people, which allows your body to heal itself.
Right. Okay, well, that's really interesting. I mean, I think we could go into that a little bit and find out about that if other people want to. But the point about health is wealth. I mean, the connection between health and wealth. You're saying there exactly.
Stress will cause ill health. And of course, with all the changes and everything, and people not being able to afford their heating bills and everything's gone up, that's going to cause major stress. So it's going to cause major illness as well.
Okay.
It's going to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah. Okay. So there is not really a great picture that we're painting here of Laura. Grab the mic.
Oh.
I'm just gonna. Yeah.
Sorry. I wanted to say that I definitely agree with the stress being one of the main causes for our physical health, because whenever I'm in a stressful situation, either at work or when I was at uni or at school, I had, for example, very stressful few days or few weeks, and once the stressful situation finished, my body was so exhausted I was instantly ill for
so it's actually when the stress is over, that's when you start to get ill.
This is when my body releases, and actually it's just the weakest then, because I would the stress would also kind of keep me going, because I knew I have to meet the deadline or I have to pass an exam. So you just keep on going.
I mean, maybe
constant fight or flight mode, so you're producing lots of cortisol, so your body's in high stress.
What's cortisol?
Well, it's a substance that we release which is harmful in large amounts to the body, and that's stress.
Right,
basically.
okay, so it's like a stress substance.
It's your immune system.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's when you get ill, because your immune system goes down, and especially in these COVID days, you know, that's the thing you really have to look after.
I mean, how do we turn this all to a positive thing and not be stressed? How do we actually, because I'm getting stressed about, am I going to get stressed and get ill?
There's lots of things like meditation is really helpful to reduce stress levels. Medication, definitely not.
Yeah, meditation over medication.
Being in nature, connecting with the earth, connecting with nature, meditation, all of yoga, exercise.
Yeah.
Tai Chi, all these things, there's plenty of things out there, and having a good healthy diet as well.
Okay.
Not eating junk food and sugar and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Eurissa?
It is also about having support and knowing where to go.
Yeah.
Like we can do everything that you mentioned, but at the same time we still need extra support, and especially at this time, living crisis, so people need to know what services are available in the community, where they can go to reach these services.
I mean, what do you do personally to reduce stress, Eurissa?
Oh, I'm not the best person to
maybe we could go around and find out, get some tips for you.
My thing, if I work out, it does help me.
Working out,
cycling, going to the gym, it's really helpful for me.
Okay.
So,
okay, so working out. We're going to go around the table, I think, on this one. Badri, what do you do to relieve stress?
My concern really is for anyone to really acknowledge that they've got stress. So early diagnosis is very important.
So you've got to name it in a way.
To know in your body that actually I'm stressed. Some people don't do it and don't feel they're stressed, and they go on and on and on until when they get depressed.
Right, okay,
But myself, the way I manage my stress is by planning my life.
Planning?
Oh, yes.
See, to me, planning makes me stressed.
I foresee all what I need to do to be comfortable. And I make sure that I push the stress away from my daily activities.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so personal planning is very, very important.
Okay, so planning, we're just going to go around the table. Tess, what do you do to relieve stress?
Yoga.
You do yoga. Any particular type of yoga?
Well, I combine Ashtanga Vinyasa with Pilates, so exercise, walk in nature, meditation.
Okay, and do you do that yourself? Do you go to a class?
I go to try yoga.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and then sometimes when I don't have time, I just roll out my mat at home.
Right, okay.
Switch on a YouTube, like yoga video.
And the people that you treat, are they stressed? Are they like, is there an sort of, we talk about a pandemic, is there a pandemic of stress?
So it's a bit more than that, actually. It's ailments in the body that are contributed by trapped emotions that have manifested over the years, and they distort the fascia and because 90% of illnesses or ailments are caused by trapped emotional baggage.
Right. Trapped baggage, okay. What do you do to relieve stress, Laura?
I really like to...
Give us a final thought before you go.
Okay,
Sorry, sorry, Laura. Sorry to give us a final thought. Obviously, we're here all afternoon, so if you're going to go and get some lunch, come back and see where the conversation's gone. But what's your final thought? Or throw something... I mean, you've added a lot to this conversation anyway, to kind of, you know, talking about naming stress. You've named this thing that people need to get over.
Just be happy, try and be happy, do your best and be grateful for everything that you do have instead of focusing on the things that you don't have.
Right. Okay, come and have a seat on the table of chat. Thank you very much, Tess. We've got Badru, we've got Eurissa, we've got Juliet, we've got Margot, we've got Laura and Mikey. We're talking about stress. How do you actually relieve stress? Do you have any stress? How do you actually relieve stress? So, no, you won't bore us. There's not actually. I bet there's zero chance of you boring us. Come and get involved in this.
I'll check you next time. Thanks.
Okay. Well, we're here until 5 o'clock for one day only. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So what were you? We were talking to Laura, weren't we? How do you relieve stress, Laura?
I really like walking in nature and listening to podcasts.
Listening to podcasts.
Yes, and.
Have you got a particular favourite podcast?
At the moment, I listen to Creative Boom podcast, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it's mainly interviews with other creatives, graphic designers, or just creative people and their journey and their struggles. So I find it very helpful also. So the walk in nature is for my physical health, but listening to a podcast like this also brings me more relief for my mental health, because I listen to stories of people who very often struggle with the same things as I do. So it's nice to listen and to relate to their stories.
Okay, that's really good. We've got a new face at the table. We've got Laura, we've got Margot, we've got Juliet, we've got Eurissa, we've got Badru. Tell us your name.
Max.
Max, and I'm Mikey. And at the moment we're talking about what do you do to relieve stress? I sit in the middle of a round table and talk to people to relieve stress. We've got lots of different things. We've got working out, we've got planning. Badru actually likes to plan things, but listening to podcasts, going into nature. We're going around the table on this one. Max, have you got one off the top of your head, or I'll come back to you later?
Well, only to be outdoors a lot. I mean, that's my thing. I spend a lot of time outdoors.
And in any particular place?
I take the dog for long walks in the park and stuff, and also a bit of gardening. I cannot. You know, kind of like recommend gardening. Too much. It's true.
You cannot recommend.
I can recommend gardening.
Yeah.
Any kind of gardening, whatever kind of space you've got, whether it's a tiny little balcony, whether it's growing plants indoors, anywhere. It's really nice watching things grow.
Okay, watching things grow.
That isn't a plug. That isn't a plug for our food garden.
Okay, but you do have a food garden.
Yeah, we are starting a food garden.
Okay,
here.
so that might. One of the things we were getting stressed and worried about was the costs and availability of foods. But we're going around the table here. What do people do to relieve stress? We had some really good answers so far. Yeah.
I think I like laughing.
Yeah.
But even stupid things, like for instance, I saw your poster for the vegetable garden.
Yeah.
I think on Twitter yesterday, and I just laughed at the shape of some of the vegetables because they're a bit rude. And you know, like stuff like that. You know, just kind of unexpected, funny things that happen. They just take the edge of things which are maybe serious. But I propose there's some things you cannot laugh about.
What things can you not laugh about?
I don't know. I know, some things I probably wouldn't openly laugh about because you know you can offend people as well. Okay,
so with laughter sometimes it can cause offence. But anyway, we're not going to go into that right now because we're going around the table finding out, Juliet, what.
Well, I've been doing Tai Chi for 20 years.
Yeah.
And when I was working, I used to come in like this.
Hang on a sec. Come and join us. Give us 2 minutes. What? Just very quickly, what helps you relieve stress? Running.
Yeah, running.
Running away from us. And what about you? What helps you relieve? Watching TV. Thank you. Right, sorry, Juliet.
That's okay. I was saying I've been doing Tai Chi for 20 years, and when I was working, I would literally be going in like this, and at the end, I'd be like this. And my teacher said, how are you feeling less stressed now? And I said, what stress? I'd forgotten all about it. My mind was completely clear. And so I do it regularly, once or twice a week.
And what is Tai Chi? I mean, I've seen people in the park kind of making shapes, but
well, basically, it's sort of a slow, repetitive movements.
I just want to put the word out, guys walking down the street, come and get involved in this conversation. This is just a free-form pop-up talk show. We can talk about any subject. Anyway, so we're talking about Tai Chi, we're talking about making shapes in the park. Yep.
Doesn't it get boring if it's repetitive?
No,
or is
no.
It just gets better and better every time you do it. And if you do it in a group, you know, you can feel the sort of the atmosphere. It's like you could cut it with a knife. You know, the actual air feels like really thick, and it's just slow and gentle. And I'll give you a demo later if you want.
Okay, well, we can do that. We can give us a little lesson.
Last week and this week I was sitting in Victoria Park, and the sun was shining, and we just sat by that water, you know, by the fountain. And when I got home, I felt euphoric. I haven't felt like that in years, and I just felt like, oh my God, you know, this is amazing. Just for sitting a couple of hours in the sunshine, watching the light through the trees, and a few geese and wild birds.
I haven't got geese sound effects.
But it did. It made me feel absolutely incredible.
Okay, well that's. I mean, obviously the sun is shining right now, which is in a way surprising. Lights.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people suffer. I mean, I know I do myself a little bit of the, you know, the SAD thing. What's it called? Seasonal acquired. Seasonal affected disorder, or seasonal acquired depression, or what are they called? So I think light is a real, I mean, my mood definitely changes between summer and winter, and I have to be a lot more careful about looking after myself in the winter time than in the summertime.
I just want to put the call out. Come and get involved in this. This is Talkaoke pop-up talk show. We got Max. We got okay. Well, we're here all afternoon. No pressure. But we're here all afternoon. We're talking about. That's a really good point. We're talking about SAD. Well, that's why. And that time in the winter where the sun actually goes in and it's cold, it's dark. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with that situation? Do we just let ourselves slump and go into this kind of like sad moment, or is there a way to deal with it?
I also think that in the summer it's just easier to get, you know, like, how do I say? I think summer is a better time to kind of like fall in love as well, or like, you know, flirt with people, because in winter you just don't want to do that at all. I say that because I met somebody in the summertime, and it's going really well, and then now it's like winter, and our texts are like, how's it going? Yeah, really good. Really tired today.
So summer is the time of love, and winter is what, the time of
just kind of I don't know, just like lack of energy, and just like nothing is happening.
Hibernate.
Hibernation.
But we don't really have real seasons now. But I've come to really appreciate spring, summer, autumn, winter. I mean, you know, if we had a good fall of snow, I'd be really happy. I like the different seasons.
Okay, so we've got Talkaoke here. This is Pop-Up Talk Show. As Max mentioned, you're welcome to join in. At the moment we're talking about the impending autumn and winter. What do we do? Do we just hibernate? Is there a way to actually...
We used to hibernate. It's been proven that we used to hunker down into caves and just like go to sleep for a long time. You know, and I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely kind of like sleep longer in the winter. You know, I mean, I kind of adjust to the light. It's like when the sunrise, sunset kind of thing. And it's like I always feel like I sleep longer, and Laura?
I wanted to say that my favorite cartoon as a kid were Moomins, and they hibernated through the winter as well. And I always wish I could just go to sleep and wake up in the spring when everything is coming back to life. We should get furloughed for that as well.
There should be a furlough system every winter. Okay, so what do other people do? How do we deal with winter? Should we just go to sleep and wake up in when would you wake up? February.
February. Yeah. The end of February.
Okay. Yeah. It's a long sleep, a long snooze.
Is it possible to kind of turn the sleeping energy into some kind of real energy? Because we've got the impending energy crisis. I mean, can we just somehow? Because I don't get an impression that everyone's like very productive these days. When everyone's like preparing for hibernation time. But can we somehow bank on that people are just like slower? I don't know. Just like I don't know. Charge batteries for sleep.
Come and join in. We're talking about 2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes. We have got Margot. We've got Juliet. We have got Eurissa. We've got Badru. Sorry, and we've got Laura. What's your name? Isaac, come and join in. Give us 2 minutes. We're talking about at the moment. It's a free-form thing, but at the moment we're talking about. Are you worried about winter coming? Do you want to hibernate over winter? How do we get over the winter blues? Is what we're talking about at the moment. Think about it. We may not be talking about it when you come back, but that's what we're talking about now. And Badru, have you got any answers?
Well, for winter, I really support everyone. It's a season where everybody's weak. It's the end of the year, sometimes beginning of the year. But it is also a season for festivals, winter festivals, Christmas, and all others. I feel that energy should be conserved and saved for spring, because spring is a very, very vibrant season, and everybody comes out, even the birds come out, and it's a very, very good season for sex. So people need to preserve their energy for sex, and actually that's why we are here.
You mean there's no sex happening in the winter?
It does, but not with that interest, not with that energy as in spring. So I think it is a very nice time to preserve energy for good sex.
Okay, well that's a strong point.
So on that subject, I was born in September, which makes me think that I'm a winter baby, that my parents must have got so bored or so like, what, I don't know, maybe over Christmas or something like that. They thought, let's
well, maybe
just
there was a kind of like a break in the hibernation as such. Do you know what I mean?
They were testing what season it was, and is it going to happen or not? I don't know how it came about, but I mean, I can imagine.
Okay, so that's the question. Badru is saying that spring is the time of love. Well, you said sex, but I'm going to just reinterpret it a little bit. But what about winter? What about that hibernation period? Is that actually a good time? Somebody help me out on this one. Any thoughts, Laura?
I really like early autumn. Because of the colors, and as much I love spring as well. It's my favorite season. But just to see the colors, and when I actually think, what
is the most romantic season? Would you say?
I don't know. I think it depends, because this can be very romantic if it's sunny. If it's a golden hour and you have plenty of colorful trees around, this is amazing. Like you have a hot cup of drink, but definitely.
By the way, Max is doing hot cups of tea. I don't know if that's coffee. Is that coffee as well?
I can do coffee, but not instant coffee.
Instant, okay. But so possibly autumn could be the most romantic time. Are we actually entering the most romantic time? Is Badru right that it is spring?
Spring is fertility, isn't it?
Spring is the time of fertility.
Reawakening, and as you say, all the birds singing, all the plants coming out. So.
But you paraphrased. You said.
I did paraphrase.
You paraphrased. You said, it's a good time for sex, but I'm just going to it's like love. Yeah. But sex and love are not necessarily the same thing, I wouldn't think.
Really? Go and say a bit more about that.
No, I'm just that. Yeah. You don't have to. Maybe they're not necessarily the same thing, or you can love someone in a moment, but you don't have to like love them and be with them forever.
I mean, do you think that Easter bunnies are having that conversation?
They should be having this conversation.
Between sex and love, and what is the Easter bunny more interested in?
Probably romance and.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to say that. Now you gave me a thought that maybe spring and summer is better for sex, but maybe for love and nurturing this connection with other people, it could be actually autumn or even winter, because I think there is nothing more cozy and kind of best place to just get together than just sitting in front of a fire, in a cabin up in the mountains, Yeah, exactly. Writing to each other.
No, I think you made a good point that spring might be the time for sex, but maybe autumn is the time for love. So you've got to convert in a way between, you've got the whole summer to change things around. Do people agree with it? Max, do you agree with this?
I don't know. What I would like to say though is that I think that I think I've learned over time to appreciate all the seasons. Yeah. And like, it's I can really get into winter now. It's
how do you get into winter? Because I think that's
I think I think maybe it's since I've like started growing loads of stuff too that I just kind of like. I like the cycle of that, of seeing, and in nature too. If you're out a lot, and you just like. I start to like the bare trees because I know that it's a prelude to like that them being
the budding.
Yeah. So there's all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Yeah. In terms of the love and the sex thing, well.
Yeah. You've got nothing to say on that.
I've got nothing to say.
Okay. Anyone got? I mean, it's up to you where we'll go with this conversation, and that includes people eating their lunch. Where do we want to take this conversation? Do we want to talk about the seasons? Do we want to talk about love and sex? What is the difference? Do we want to talk about this kind of the enjoying every season or enjoying every moment, enjoying the difficult moments as well? Because we started off this conversation being worried about bills and food prices. Maybe we can actually enjoy that challenge of trying to do things on a budget.
I mean, is there a statistics about are people having more sex when there's austerity and there's nothing, when they feel like really, Yeah. I just wonder because
it's free entertainment. Isn't it? It's like
maybe it's one way of putting it. No, I'm just thinking about it because after the war, I think people have had a lot of sex and they they kind of had to.
Yeah.
And during the war, right? Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know why exactly, but then if a lot of people died in the war, it kind of makes sense that new people had to come from somewhere. But yeah. So do you think it's gonna? But also we're talking about procreation as well. So I think that's a different thing altogether as well, possibly. Yeah. But I mean, is the austerity gonna make produce more children?
Okay. Well, there'll be
more children gonna be born in austerity. Is that even related? I don't know. Yeah. Because I get a sense that when people are like well off, they don't tend to have children. That's kind of the statistic that I vaguely heard somewhere, but then
the more money you have, the less kids you have.
The more, I mean, like you can just like I don't know, maybe you can just enjoy your own kind of selfish pleasures, and you don't have to have children, or I don't know, maybe there's a hope with having children that they will turn your life around, their own life around. There'll be like generational change. So it's it may be just sex, but I think maybe without fully knowing, we project a lot into this next generation or children or.
Okay, interesting point. So the more money you have, the less kids you have. I mean, why is that? Do people agree with that? Is that a thing? Eurissa, you've not said much for a while, but you don't have to answer this question. You can answer any question you want.
Okay, I would like to go back to what Margaret was saying about winter being like a... no, Margaret, Laura was saying like winter, autumn being like a cozy season, so more for love. So we like... And because we test a lot throughout the year, for example, sometimes we do have more people testing
do you have
during
peaks?
Spring and summertime, and then because we tend to go out more, the weather is really good, so we kind of sometimes lose ourselves, and then like the chances of having sex, even going back to love and sex, are two different things. So you have sex, you have unprotected sex, and then you come back, you test. So I would say like spring, summer, maybe like more sex season, and then autumn like a cozy season, love season.
So you're kind of agreeing really with Laura about that, and you've got figures to back it up as well, I think. So that's definitely, you've got a point there, Laura. It's a good point there. But where do we want to go with this conversation? I don't know. You know, have people got this kind of cozy? Are they looking forward to cozying up with someone in the autumn?
I think that's how it will be this winter, because people aren't going to have money to go out.
Okay,
and that's why I think
a warm person is cheaper than central heating.
I think people will have to be staying in a lot more. They're not going to have any disposable income, you know. And they'll have the heating off, so they've got to keep warm.
So they've got to get close. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's another question. Is the heating on more conducive to a romantic time, or having the heating off? Margaret.
Sorry, but I mean, we are talking about sex, so I guess it always. I mean, I guess it's a taboo, right? I mean, it's hard to talk about sex, but I wonder, you know. I'm interested in this idea of unprotected sex, like what makes people do that, and that kind of stuff. What do you kind of, you know, why in the summer is there like no time, or is it because people just sleep with more people in the summer, or is it like what is happening? I'm just interested.
I mean, what's going on? Is there more unprotected sex in the summertime, Badri?
Yes. In winter, as you said, it is a time to be at home and be cozy, have sex with your partner. But when it comes to spring and summertime, it's time to go out. You can have sex with, you know, anyone. And you can have sex anytime. People have sex almost everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah, in the office, in parks, in
this
cars,
park?
and in summer, because it is quite warm. And so, as Eurissa said, most sex out of the home is unprotected sex, because people don't prepare for it, and they are more likely to pick up some infections as they have multiple partners. So I think that's when we have a boom of people coming to test.
You get more business
after exposing themselves. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so we've got that summertime boom. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about doing it in the park. This is talking. Well, after you can bring your lunch here. This is lunch proof. We have taken some precautions. We've designed this table to be waterproof and food proof and everything else proof, and we've got this event shelter in case it rains, and we've got some rain jackets in our. Just talking about taking precautions here, but people don't in the summertime, especially.
I wonder
in this park.
Yeah, in this park. I mean, I find it hard to believe that people would have sex in this park, just because it's a little bit kind of surrounded by different. I mean, I don't know if these are flats or they're like office blocks. I don't know if people are living there. It looks like flats,
I think
right?
they're living there.
But anyway, if you got to do it, then you got to do it. But I wonder whether is it fair to say that Hackney is a sex capital of London? Just because some time ago we were talking to people of older generation from Hackney. They were saying how this is like a party scene, and it always has been. People always partied, and I've got a feeling it wasn't just partying and dancing and drinking beers that went on.
But
I wonder whether there's something particular about Hackney that kind of makes it like, you know,
Is Hackney...
Yeah, like a sex capital. I mean, are there other boroughs which are more promiscuous? That's my question.
I mean, you've kind of said that Hackney is the party capital of London. I don't know if that's true. If people agree that's true, does that then make it the sex capital as well? Is it the sexiest place in the whole of London, or maybe even the whole of the UK?
Yeah, I mean, don't know, but I would also say that people in Hackney are sexy. That's another thing that I have noticed around parks.
There's a higher sexiness going on here.
No, so I really do think that's true as well.
I mean, you may not know because it's hard to know unless you've got the sort of, I don't know how you'd measure it as well, but Badru, is Hackney the sex capital of London, or the UK even?
Yes, I don't live in Hackney.
Yeah.
But I've moved around Hackney a lot, and I've seen so many parks and small parks, closed parks like this one. But I know when I was a little bit younger that I used to come to clubs in Hackney.
Yeah.
And Hackney is one of the most vibrant boroughs of London. And I think there's a lot going on that we don't see, but I think it is one of the most sexiest borough in London.
Okay,
sorry, I'm just going to serve tea if anyone wants any.
I wouldn't mind a black coffee, even if it is instant.
Black coffee.
Half a cup black coffee.
Black coffee.
Yeah, we've got some herbals here as well.
Black tea.
Black tea, okay. We've got turmeric tea, and we've got, is it turmeric?
That's a nighttime tea.
Yeah.
We just had my tea now.
Okay, you've got... well, we're talking about hibernation, so so that's going to help us out there. Where do we go with this? We found out that Hackney the sex capital of London. That's what we're talking about at the moment. Any thoughts on that? And is this park a place where is it a place where people actually have sex?
Yeah, I mean, is it possible to normalize people having sex, or is it just like impossible now because sex is everywhere, but equally is just like I don't know, it's like I don't know, everything's sexualized, but still talking about sex is a taboo. So I wonder, is it ever possible to overcome that, or is it is it about tantalizing people with the notion of sex and just kind of like let people think about it, but the minute you kind of talk about it out in open, people just kind of shut off. Maybe it's just too personal.
Do people want to have a more open and frank conversation about sex? You want to?
I just wonder, because maybe it's unnecessary. Maybe some things they just need to stay personal. It's like, you go to the doctor, and if you've got, I don't know, tonsillitis, you're not going to like necessarily go around and going like, oh yeah, doctor. You're not going to tell people. It's not really that interesting. So if you go an STD, it's like you're not going to. I mean, what's there to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's for me.
Oh.
Preparing for.
Okay. Thanks for the coffees.
And the other one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, my one's coming. Okay, good. Freshly brewed, freshly poured in the cup. That's more important than this whole subject about whether we do want to talk about sex or not. What do people think around the table? Margot said yes. What do you personally? Do you personally want to have a more open conversation?
I think it would be helpful, particularly for younger people. Just because, when I was a young person, I had no idea. I grew up in Poland. There was no kind of conversation.
Well, what is it like in Poland? Is it different in Poland?
I don't know what it is like now. I would like to think it's a bit more kind of open. People can have, there is better sex education at schools. Although, due to it being maybe frowned upon by the Catholic Church, there's not so much of that actually happening. I think there is a stronger push to do sex education in Poland, but I think there's a push back from the government and from schools, actually probably from the government, and deter young people from the education by supposedly because they will just get sexualized and they just get interested in sex too early, and they should be, and women should be modest anyway, so they shouldn't really, talk about sex at all.
Hello.
How's it going? Talking about sex.
Hello. We've got Margot, we've got Juliet, we have got Eurissa, we've got Badru, we've got Laura and Mikey. Come and have a seat.
Nice to meet you. I'm HK.
Come on, get involved.
Yeah, we can actually even shout in your order from here if you want. Do you want a tea? What's your name?
My name is Nihal Yücel.
Nihal.
Yeah, Nihal. Nihal.
Nihal.
Yeah.
And
Havva.
Havva.
Yeah.
Welcome. We've got, as I said, we've got Laura, we've got Margot, we've got Juliet, we've got Urissa. Laura, Margot, Juliet, Urissa, and we've got Badru and Laura and Mikey. Welcome. I'll give you a round of applause.
I forgot.
Don't worry about it. It's not even really important. It's not even really important. I mean, this is Talkaoke Freeform Talk Show. At the moment, we're talking about sex. But the question is, at the moment, do we need to talk more about sex?
Resmen ağladı. Başkana ne diyorlardı? İstifa etti lady. Lady finish. Why?
Yeah.
Why you lady finish? 14-4 day finish.
Oh, you're talking about Liz Truss?
Yeah, Liz Truss.
Okay, so
yeah.
So we're at a little bit of a crossroads here. Do we? Or maybe we can link these conversations. I don't know. Come and get involved. Would you like çay istiyor musun?
Çay istiyor musun?
Yes. Evet.
Evet.
İki tane çay lütfen. No, can we have 2 teas? 2 teas, please, Max. So where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about? You wanted to talk? Yeah, go on.
I think that came up in one of the Talkaokes before. Would you ever have sex with Boris Johnson? And I think talking about politics and sex. I think people who represent the country, or like the Queen.
Yeah.
I mean, she's passed away, and as we all will one day. But I found it very hard to imagine her having sex ever. Although she has produced offspring, I would not be able to imagine anyone have sex with Boris Johnson. And then Liz Truss, obviously, she had an affair. I mean, obviously, she's done other things as well, but none of them as kind of...
power, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's power, apparently. It attracts people.
Yeah.
So, the most awful-looking people you would never expect, like John Major, but because he's in power. He had an affair. Really? Yeah, with Edwina Currie,
With Edwina Currie, right.
And that was kept quiet. No, she was one of the ministers.
Okay, so we're talking about, are there any sexy politicians? No?
Sorry. Sorry, someone has to say Rishi Sunak is hot.
Rishi Sunak, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Hungry people.
Yes. So
2 minutes, this one okay.
Okay, so it's at the moment. Yeah, go on, Laura. Yeah.
I don't know about sexy politicians. I don't actually know this many politicians.
Yeah.
But I think that the president of Ukraine is very hot.
Yeah.
And also, what makes him hotter in a way is how serious he is in the current situation. And obviously, you need to be serious in. But the Polish president, he's just a joke.
Yeah.
He's a walking joke. So a comparison. But also to add to the list, people I can't imagine other people have sex with. I would say Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
I don't know how. It cannot be willingly.
And Donald Trump. Yeah. What do you think of that? Any politicians?
Me this one yeşil, gri.
Yeah.
Gri, yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you? I mean, is there any politicians you think are good looking?
Yeah.
Which one?
This Green Party very nice.
Which one? The Green Party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Liberal.
The Liberal.
Yes.
Liberal. Okay.
Me Liberal.
Yeah, you're more of a Liberal. Yeah. What about you, Nihal?
Yeah, Liberal.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about the politicians? Is there any good-looking politicians?
Yeah, good looking.
Yeah. Which one?
I don't. This change your party. This. Yeah, change. Change this one. All of the new lady coming.
Okay. Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Politica. There's a Green Party, this one, all Liberal, this change lady coming,
Okay, so the Green Party is...
Business lady, This one all of the coming. This one in. Yeah. Me Turkish no, this Turkish nice, this are English me no, whereas the politica me understand, double understand. All of them me politica this understand. Electric, there's a small electric behind, just one here, that's one all of them.
Okay,
If you're talking about Green Party, I think maybe they should do a bit more for making it safe to have sex in parks around Hackney. They should encourage that a bit more and make it safe. Maybe that's what they could do. Just make parks a bit more kind of hospitable.
Safe, yeah.
Safer.
Hospital all the in no this one no, this one corona, this where is the problem, all of the no corona, this one all of the where is the in too much people, this one apartment no here, no doctor no here. This
so
nice doctor, this one nice doctors no here.
There's no nice doctors
all of the homework.
Hackney. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, homework.
Yeah.
This one all of the nurse, home nurse, these people, this one no inside. All of the this one too much people, this one all of the injection, this one where is the problem?
Okay.
Your old people injection, no problem, no go home, this you that, yeah.
Okay, so it's not really enough. What I'm taking from that, Hover, is that there's not enough.
Tell me where is the rubbish? Why you rubbish? Where's the political rubbish?
Yeah.
All of the just one people.
Yeah.
You this talk inside, Jerry. No talk. Where's the crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to have more of a conversation.
All of the rich. Polt. Sam. Politica no change.
Yes.
Me this one all the job. This one köle neydi? Köle. This one all of the old köle. This one Sam. White modeling köle. Modeling.
Help us out a little bit here.
Moda köle.
Like fashion.
Yeah, fashion.
Oh, fashion. Yeah, yes. Moda. Yes, fashion.
Moda köle. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, moda köle. This. White people, all of the moda köle. These rich people, all of the rich. You working people, modeling. Your school, this one, all of the model. Model, I don't know, köle, I don't know. You understand?
Well, not really.
You understand?
So is it about? But you talk about fashion as well. So is there a different fashion for people who are powerful? Is that what you're saying? So.
Because they're so well groomed, aren't they? Everything is done. You know, they can have a massage, they can get their hair done, they can buy new clothes all the time.
Well, I mean, in a way, we started off talking about this conversation. We started off talking about this at the beginning. Is that when you've got a lot of money, you actually got less stress, and then you've got you've got better health.
All of the no here. People all of the you go undergrad go this bus all of the no hello no here robot here.
So people are not talking to each other.
All of the hello no me robot me this one all of the man this one all of the lady this one no all of the people working robot. Yes. No hello, no how are you?
Hang on a sec. Let me I think Laura wants to come in, and also we've got Max here. I didn't introduce.
I just wanted to say that we are talking about.
I think these two want a tea as well. Actually, they're saying. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They do it in a probably Turkish way. Go on, Laura.
I see. I wanted to talk about how we are. Just, I guess, talking about sexy politicians, but also it's kind of a double standard because everyone is happy when there is a handsome politician. But if it's a sexy woman on in politics, everyone will be complaining about her sex appeal not being in place for being a politician, and why is that? Like, why is this an issue?
Can you give us an example of a sexy politician?
Is she Prime Minister of Finland?
The Prime Minister of Finland,
yes, and there was this huge situation when she went to a house party, and she, the pictures of her partying of her friends leaked out, and everyone was so upset that a politician
can. A party.
you know. And what's the problem there? Like, I think we actually need more younger politicians.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a young and sexy Finnish Prime Minister. She got into trouble just for partying for no reason. And do we live in a world of double standards for men and for women?
No charge.
Teşekkür ederiz. I'll take that. We've got some biscuits as well on the table. So you're agreeing with this, Yuriza?
There is definitely the double standards in politics and all other areas in life. Yeah. And then there is what we expect of a man as politician, as a woman. Yeah, it's completely different. Even if you go over what Boris did while in power, and then Theresa May, so there is clearly double standards when it comes to that.
So for some reason men are allowed to party more. Boris was allowed to party more than the Finnish.
All I would say, I mean, during COVID, all the women prime ministers and presidents around the world handled the COVID epidemic so much better than the men. You know, it's like, I don't know why that happened, but it just.
How are you measuring that? But
because they just put things in place so much quicker, didn't they? There was no hesitation.
Right.
It's
okay.
so they saved lives essentially. I guess.
So anywhere where there was a female.
No, I'm not saying everywhere.
But most places.
But most.
Can you give us an example? We've heard about Finland. Any other countries?
New Zealand. Germany at the time. Angela Merkel. Not Poland.
So actually. If you were going to do a study, it's better to have a woman prime minister or a woman president than a male president if you want to stay alive. That's what we're saying here, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Poland, I think it was a disaster. Maybe it's not a coincidence that it was men in power who ordered respirators from an arms dealer. And the arms dealer actually was found dead in a flat in Azerbaijan recently, so we'll never find out where the money went. But yeah, I do think there's something about women doing the planning and just being a bit more on top of it.
Yeah. We've heard earlier on that Badru is a very good planner. But are women better at planning? Is that what's going on? Why do women...
Did you learn it from a woman, the planning?
Why do women make better politicians?
Women, well, they make better politicians just because they are not easily influenced by the other genders, and at the same time we know that most women, they are multitasking people, and they look at all situations rather than men who are always focused on one issue.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that women are better planners because they have a comprehensive way of understanding issues.
Okay, so this is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. Everyone's welcome. At the moment we're talking about, do women make better politicians? Come and join. We have got Hava, we have got Badru, we have got Yuriza. Come, give us 2 minutes. Yes, we'll give you a round of applause. Yes, here we go. Yes, we've got Hava, we've got Badru, we have got Yuriza, we've got Juliet, we've got Margot, we have got Nihal, and Laura. I'm Mikey. Come and tell us your names. Thanks for getting involved.
Hannah
and
Carla.
Do women make better politicians as well? Basically, Max, who's doing the Max was saying that in countries where women were rulers. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Me? Yeah. India and Scotland.
India and Scotland. Where are you from?
Me. Kurdish.
From Kurdish. Okay.
Kurdish.
Yeah. Okay. A Turkish-speaking Kurd, and anyway, in the Kurdish area, is there a man or a woman in charge? Who's in charge in the Kurdish?
The Kurdish, all of the men very up.
Yeah.
Lady, all of the.
Okay.
The army.
Yeah, there are Kurdish. Yes, there are Kurdish.
Yeah.
But we're talking about politicians more than fighters and soldiers. Do women make better politicians? We heard from Max, who's over. Where's Max? She's here. Oh, there, Max. That actually, in countries where there were female leaders, much less people died from COVID than in countries where men were in power. Does that make women better politicians? Do they see the... Badgery was also agreeing, saying women see the whole picture, men only thinking about one thing.
I do have this kind of thought in my head though, just seeing what happened to Liz Truss, and like, I'm not endorsing her policies. I don't actually know what her policies were.
Yeah.
But I think people like really went for her when she quit, and I think Boris Johnson he wouldn't take any shit whatsoever. He was like, yeah, I've done all the fucking fantastic things, deal with it. But she got a really bad, you know. I think people really turned on her. There's this meme of who's going to survive longer, the lettuce or Liz Truss. I don't know if you've seen this meme. And good for lettuce population. Lettuce won.
So people were more unkind to Liz Truss.
I think so, but she did have a really tough job, and I do wonder whether people would turn on her so much if she was a bloke.
Do women actually have to have higher standards in a way when it comes to politics? Maybe why they're better, because they're judged more harshly.
Going back to what Margot was saying, I mean, we all know that Margaret Thatcher, when she came into power, had to lower her voice. You know, so she sounded kind of a little bit more, well, I presume it was to have a more kind of male kind of sounding voice, you know, deeper voice. I don't know, is that more authoritative? I don't know.
Well, what do you think of Margaret Thatcher? Was she authoritative?
Yeah, I think people really listened when she spoke. I mean, you know.
What's that?
There's a
I'll come to
Turkish. Speak the Turkish.
Yeah. And any thoughts on this? Was it Carla and
Hannah?
Hannah, any thoughts on this?
No.
Have you heard of Margaret Thatcher?
Yeah, but I'm not like an expert. I think I'm a bit too young.
What do you think about Liz Truss? Do you think she was harshly judged?
I think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say harshly judged, because look at what she did.
Yeah.
She was in power for 45 days and she just like messed up the whole economy.
So you think she kind of deserved it anyway? Yeah. Okay. In general, are women politicians more harshly judged, would you say?
I see they're more, maybe a bit more practical.
Yeah.
Maybe counting Liz Truss out a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But they kind of just have a wider viewpoint and kind of...
Well, this is it's interesting, because it's exactly what you said, Badger. The wider, they think more holistically. Laura, you wanted to say something. Grab the mic.
I wanted to say that to be honest, because Liz Truss was only in power for 5 days, I don't actually know this much that she's done over this 5 days. I heard about, you know, losing a lot of money and some really big headlines that were all over news. But yeah, I was thinking, how can you actually see how the person is doing within just 5 days? Is it just not like a huge media, how you call it, like a massacre when everyone is just hunting her down because of whatever reason? But apparently I didn't hear that, but apparently Boris Johnson, when he was resigning, he said something like, "I'll be back," or something like that, and now people are saying that he might be back in power after Liz Truss, and I think that should be illegal for him to come back.
Okay, he shouldn't be allowed back. Why should he not be allowed back?
Because if he was forced to resign, there was a reason, and within 5 days the problem didn't solve itself, so he just should learn his lesson away from the politics.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about politics, we're talking about, have we got double standards? That goes back to this double standards question. Maybe we could explore this. Is there double standards between men and women? Boris Johnson gets another bite of the cherry, gets another go. Liz Truss gets 5 days. What do you think? Is there double standards for men and women?
Women are critiqued more harshly.
Yeah, but why is that?
Goes through history, I guess. Yeah. Always higher expectations, more responsibilities, I guess, on women. And then now, they started to get wider responsibilities in like getting to do, I guess, things that men were only allowed to do. Now they're critiqued more harshly in terms, like when they do it.
Okay, so now they're entering into this kind of realm of the man. They get more criticism. Is there double standards for men and women? That's what we're talking about. Any thoughts over there? You say yes. Come and join in. Give us 2 minutes. By the way, there's no minimum. Oh, give us a final thought before you go, Hannah. Final thought?
No, I have no final thoughts. Interesting discussion.
Would you get involved in politics?
No.
Never?
No.
And what's your final thought, Carla?
She probably would. No, I've grown up with my parents in politics.
Yeah,
but,
your parents are they very political?
Yeah.
What kind of politics do they like?
Well, I'm named after Karl Marx, so...
Oh, wow.
Socialist, so there you go.
Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I guess, I don't know, Liz Truss was critiqued harshly, but kind of rightly in terms of what she did.
Okay, so yeah.
But Boris shouldn't come back in because he was left for a reason.
Who would you like to see in power?
None of them, a general election.
General election, okay. All right, we're moving on to a more political... You agreeing with that, Max?
Yeah, definitely a general election.
You.
I mean, look at the mess that's going on.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Give us a final thought. Give it, Nihal. Give us a final thought. What do you think about this? Politics.
Political, no. This one, all of the in no money. This one, all of the people. This one, all of the upsides people. All of the eating. Where is the rich? This one.
Hang on a sec.
Johnson coming. Coming.
You think Johnson will be coming back? Yeah.
All the
Nihal?
people, the good life. Yeah, I think inshallah, all the world.
Yeah.
Good life, good people.
Good life.
Yeah, good people.
Poor people come and understand, no rich people.
Okay, so you think, listen more to the poor people. Thank you. Görüşürüz. Kendinize bakın. Teşekkür ederiz. Sonra görüşürüz. Next time. Okay, there we go. So this is Talkaoke at the moment. Wish I knew a bit more Turkish there, just to find out the Kurdish perspective on politics. It's the same there. It seems that the men are in power there too. Where do we want to go with this conversation? We were going to hear from you, weren't we, Max? About
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Conservative Party basically is a complete mess, and so I really do think that they need to own up, basically, and it needs to go to a general election. Anyway, after saying that, there's also part of me that I just think that, you know, we're in such a mess globally that I just think that the party should, I don't know what they call it when people collaborate. There should be some kind of collaborative thing.
They should be working together a bit more.
Yeah, they should be working together, you know. It's just ridiculous. I'm so sick of it. Like, you know, this kind of, all this bickering.
Is it too argy-bargy, too tetchy politics?
It is, far too much, you know. It's like one says one just, it's like they're purposefully just like, you know, it's all sound bites.
Do you agree with that then, Julia?
Absolutely. No, I mean, it's. And I was listening to somebody who was a historian yesterday, and he said it all goes back to Brexit. It's all about Brexit and those in power trying to keep going and keep the right-wing Brexiteers in power. And look where it's got us. You know, absolute, disaster.
Okay, so it's all down to Brexit, Margot?
I was listening to this program and the guy who's a linguist, he was making this suggestion that for as long as we will hear in politics, people say, oh yeah, we're doing this, unlike our predecessors who really done a really bad job of XYZ. We will never move on, and we'll never move in present, and we'll never look into future, because forever we're just building on something that somebody else had done wrong, as opposed to, okay, they've had a fair crack, like our predecessors, they've had a fair crack at trying to fix this and the other. Okay, maybe it didn't work out, but we're now going to continue on this, you know, on this trajectory to make whatever the issue is better. But the politics isn't framed like that. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more positive in this country, although I don't believe so. But in Poland, it's very much like, oh, the predecessors, the previous people in power, they really messed it up, and now we're just trying to fix the mess. But really, there's no kind of there's not seeing any benefits whatsoever to people trying to do their best back in the day, because I think it's very hard to be in power.
Come and have a seat. Is politics broken? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Talkaoke, come and have a seat. 2 minutes.
Definitely broken in Poland.
We've got Badru, we've got Yuriza, we have got Max, we have got Juliet, we have got Margot. Come and have a seat. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Come on. Come on. Well, we wanted to come sit down because we want to ask you this question. Tell us your name. Do you think politics is broken? That seems to be the consensus.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley, welcome. So, you know, should there be a general election? Is that going to fix it, or is it just the whole system, the whole way it works? People have said it's too tetchy, it's too short term.
There needs to be proportional representation. The whole voting system needs to change. Scotland needs to be made independent. That means that Labour will lose seats, which means the whole voting system has to be changed, in my eyes, to make it more fairer.
Well, we need, in a way, you're saying we need to move forwards, really, in order to...
I can't see how this present government is helping anyone. Like they say about the average 2,500 bill, well, no one's actually willing to say what that average is. I've been in contact with Octopus Energy saying, well, what's the average? How much is it? How much do I use a year in kilowatts? What is the average? What will I be paying? And still, I'm paying £4,200 a year. So, what's the 2,500? I don't know, but that's what they want of me. I paid £100 a month for gas and electricity, and now I'm paying £350 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm on benefits.
Yeah. So what is going on there? It's just not really making any sense. We're in a pretty dire state, basically.
Yeah, I think this lady would like to...
Yeah.
I mean, I do wonder, because I've heard about this initiative to pledge that you're not gonna, the people are not gonna pay their electricity bills, and I think at the moment you can just sign up to it and say, like, I will, if a right amount of people, if millions of people say, yeah, we really don't want to pay our electricity bills, if they pledge to do that, then the government will have to discuss that somehow. But I just wonder whether people are considering signing up to this thing. Have you heard of this? It's a hard one, because in a way, like, I want to say yes and fuck government for putting us in this position, and maybe there are more positive ways of resolving the issue. I wouldn't know how, but if you stop paying your electricity bill, that immediately puts you in conflict with the law. And if you're in a kind of vulnerable position, if you are renting or whatever, or why would anyone want to be in conflict with the law? That's just a big kind of moral and practical consideration. Right. So I'd like to think I would do it, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scary thing. It's a scary thing.
You need everyone to do it. You need everyone to do it, because the law wouldn't be able to handle that many people. You know.
What I read somewhere was that if you raise a dispute with your energy company, then they have to cease taking payments from you until that is resolved. And I don't know whether that's an angle to go around or not paying if everyone disputes it. Everyone disputes it, and then you have to wait for them to get back to you. And obviously it won't be found in your favour, but still that gives you time, and it buggers the energy companies around as well.
Yeah, and if 1 million people all disputed at the same time, that would cause a bureaucratic headache. That not even Badru would be able to sort out.
Have to go.
Well, thank you. Give us a final thought before you go, Ashley.
Love and peace to you all.
Love and peace. How do we get there is a question, but we're gonna resolve it. We're here till 5 if you want to come back this way. Laura, you're at a point.
Yes, I wanted to say that it's also what Max was saying. She's gone now. But let me rewind my thought. My landlord, with the whole bills being higher now, she still wants to put our rent up from January quite drastically, and the thing is, there is not much we can say about it. It's completely without a reason. She just wants more money, even though the situation, like the house looks exactly the same, nothing has changed. We are paying more for the bills, but she still wants more money. And the thing is, there's nothing we can say, because if we will say no, she will find someone on our place who's willing to pay this money that the flat is not
really worth.
Really worth. Okay. So that's the thing. We should kind of pledge to that's why the rent in London is going up so dramatically, because there are people who are willing to pay this money. And if we would just like come together and say like, no, £3,000 for a 2-bedroom flat is too much.
Yeah.
This is not how much I'm paying, but like as an example.
Yeah.
So we are not paying that. So then the landlords will be forced to put the rents down. Yes.
Please have a seat. We have got Margot, we've got Juliet, we've got Max, we've got Eurissa, we've got Badru, I'm Mikey. I'm Mikey.
I seen you down in...
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, you're all left-wingers, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. Everyone is allowed to have a seat around the table of the chat. Doesn't matter. What we're talking about at the moment is...
I come here in a sense of armed neutrality.
Okay, well, you're very welcome. Have a seat. Have a seat. We've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
Aidan.
Aidan. Okay, so we've got Badger, we've got Eurissa, we've got Max, we've got Juliet, we've got... Tell us your name.
Oh, I forgot. I got double dementia.
I'll come back to you on that one.
No, my name's Richard.
Richard, that's right, yes. And come and join in on this one.
Laughing over.
Okay, you can sit on the seat. That makes it look more busy, you know, and it's always good. It helps the vibe. Juliet, you're off, so give us a final thought.
Yeah, no, I was just back to the electricity and everything. It's the usual closing the door after the horse has bolted.
Yeah.
We haven't, you know, stocked up on any electricity supplies or any gas supplies. There's nothing like that for 20 years, and that's part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in today.
Right, okay, so it's also, we've not really planned for this eventuality. The bills have gone up, with energy has become more scarce. We're talking about, Richard, is politics broken is the main subject at the moment.
I've just explained to one lady I've got a new electoral system, which is first past the post and proportional representation. I want to paint on a canvas.
Okay, so you want both at the same time?
It is both.
Okay.
Do you know how it works though?
No.
I'm over-generous person. Don't tell the wife that. Right. Over-generous. No, this is the way. You don't give everybody one vote, you give them 6.
Give everybody 6 votes?
Yeah, the most... if you were thinking that 3 links form that smallest chain, everything is 1, 2, 3 in the universe. You get 3 people on the podium, don't you? Action, reaction, chain reaction, past, present, future.
So
right?
Why shouldn't there be 3 votes?
This is based on the most basic, simple thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what my system is? It's a 1, 2, 3, a 3, 2, 1 system.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave. Do you want a cup of tea, by the way, or any other hot drink?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, thank you, Juliet. We've got Aidan. Have you got any thoughts on this? Is politics broken? Should we have more votes? Come and get involved in this if you want to. Tell us your name, by the way.
Tommy.
Tommy. Aidan, what's your view on this?
Well...
And would you like a cup of tea, or
I don't drink much tea.
Yeah. Or a coffee?
This is gonna sound weird. I'm not actually British. I'm American.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at the British politics as much as I can while I'm here.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of relating it back to American politics. It's kind of the same. I mean, there's crooked politicians on both sides, and I've seen that, and it needs to change, but there's no way to change it because it's all centralized and central based.
So it's kind of baked into the system. Is there a way to change the system? Does everyone agree that the system needs to change? Margot?
I agree with you. It would be nice. It would
it
would be really good if people were able to penetrate that kind of political setup. But I think it's just got so complicated, and the world has got so complicated. I mean, I think for all its faults, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that, you know, I don't know, imperialism is all right, or like, you know, faith-based political systems are okay, because I don't think there are, but at least that gives people a sense of simplicity of the world. The world may still be complicated, but you know, there is simplicity. This is good, this is bad, this is what we should do, this is what we shouldn't do. But I think right now there's so many political fractions, so many opinions, and as there should be, but that almost kind of causes some kind of like paralysis for me to try to get my head around even local politics. I just lose it. I can't do it. Yeah, and I think that's partly related to how much information is thrown at us with social media and everything. So it's like, I wonder sometimes if it's deliberate.
Okay, is it just too much information? Is that part of the reason why politics just doesn't work anymore? Tommy, come and have a seat. It's electrically tested, it's safe. Let me, Richard, grab the mic. Grab the mic, Richard. There we go.
What's this then?
Yes.
Well, this new system, you get 3 for your first choice and 2 and 1, right? So you have 1, 2, 3. Now, you get a bird and it's got extremes, isn't it, right? Wings, right? The body of the bird is the most important thing. If you cut the wings off, the bird can still live. The body's gone, the wings don't live, right? We got to keep the extremists out. We don't want the witchy hour is 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be pulled out of bed at 3 o'clock by secret police. We've got to avoid all that, right? The thing is now...
Are you worried about that?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah.
But the thing is now, you can have all freedom is freedom of choice. Choice. Not access to the dom land, like on Kingdom, dom. No, it's freedom of choice is real freedom, right? Yeah. And the thing is, and if you vote, you can vote for 3 and 1, you vote for 2, a second, and a third. Now, in my system, you tot the votes up at the end, right? You could say, oh, I'll give him 3, but I like him, I'll give him 2. Most people who are in the middle, the body, will start...
No, I mean, I think it's a good system, but will it ever change? I mean, you know, will people adopt a new system?
Would it not be funny that you say, plague on all... If you don't want to get married, you won't go to the wedding, will you? And an idea is only as strong, whose time has come, as Bismarck said, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could say, no, I'm not giving 3, I'm not giving 2, you won't get fined if you don't vote. Fair enough. You give 1, you say, I'll give him 1. Do you know, when it's first past the post at the end, you'll find that 1 vote you cast could have...
Changed everything.
Changed everything.
Okay, okay, so this is 3, 2, 1. It's the idea that's come.
3, 2, 1.
Hello. Is politics broken? What do you think? This is Talkaoke. You're agreeing? Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Yes, you can bring your lunch. Yes. We have got Aidan. We have got Badru. What do you want to talk about?
Excuse me.
Nothing. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. We're here all afternoon. We're here all afternoon.
I want to go to the pound shop.
What are you buying over there?
Spend 50p.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist it.
I wonder if there's a freedom of choice that you were talking about, Richard, but I wonder whether in America, such a huge country, I don't know how much in touch you are with with American politics right now. Is it Aidan?
Aidan,
yeah, right.
Yes.
But like, do you feel like people do you think that people in America they feel like they've got power, that they've got a choice?
Is there such a thing as a freedom of choice? Either in UK or in the US.
Looking from an American standpoint, I definitely don't think there's much of a choice, because we are so focused in on the two-party system, and we have 2 people that just sit there and they cut each other down rather than finding ways to support the country. They're so focused on who's better in what way that it is literally just turning into a pick the lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah, so it's the least worst rather than the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't paint a very good picture. Any thoughts on this side, Badru?
I think these are tough times, and really tough times need tough measures. We need politicians who look at issues as they are, especially the economic issues at the moment, and then get strategies in place to improve the economy. before we had a discussion about women politicians and men politicians, and I said that women look at things differently from men. They look at the whole situation and they've got their emotions in there. But time comes when actually politics doesn't need emotions. It needs real solutions.
Okay, so it's not a time of emotions, it's a time of solutions.
It's not a time for emotions.
Yeah.
So I think that we need a leader who will look at the situation as it is and put in place tough solutions for the economy, for the politics, for the social welfare of the people of Great Britain.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Yeah. Why is it you know you got XX for the ladies in a genome sense with genetics, you know, frontal genetics, but you'd never get a YY man? Why is that?
Okay, so it's a scientific question. Why can't you have YY? You have XY and XX in the gene. Yeah.
You'd be such a beast, no empathy at all. So if you got married, you realise that 3/4 of the marriage is actually female because you got XX, call it circle circle, and you got circle square. So you got the threesome coming in again, haven't you?
Okay. Yeah.
2 circles.
So you're saying that women
they don't need another woman to have children in a sense. They need 3 circles. That's what nanny nature demands.
Okay.
The only place they can find that circle is in the man.
Okay.
And 3/4 of any given marriage is actually female. It's mammal.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Nature knows
that
the square can take care of itself.
Can the square take care of itself? Can a YY chromosome exist? Laura, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I can actually answer this question to some extent. I am not a specialist, but I read a book.
Yeah.
And in that book, the book is called Slut, I think, and it's about a female in animal kingdom. And it starts with explanation how it happened that we have the female chromosomes and male chromosomes. So the thing with the male chromosomes is the issue of it is that is actually the anomaly and is the weaker combination of the whatever XXX with the Y. So it actually from the biological point of view you should be you shouldn't happen because you're the weaker organism in that combination at the first.
The Y is a mutation.
It's a mutation, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why in biology men used to think about themselves as this miracle that happened. That's why they are more special, which then was debunked, and it's a whole book about it. It's really interesting, but the first. What was first, male or female? It was the female,
I guess. First, the male or the female? Hang on a sec, Richard. We need to involve other people.
Why men have nipples.
Is that why men have? Tommy, you're looking quizzical. I think it's time for you to step into this. Yes, it is. You're looking very quizzical, anyway.
I'll go and get my.
Your half-price pound.
Get 50p worth of materials, but see you when you come back, Richard. But I want to disagree with you though, because I want to disagree with you because I think Badu, you said about emotions is
it's not a time for emotions.
Yeah, it's no time for emotions because we have to do some proper proper politics or something like that. And I disagree with that because it's kind of is saying that the emotions happen elsewhere, but when it comes down to it, move to this side because I'm trying to look you in the eye. Politics happens elsewhere and emotions happen elsewhere. I've got lots of male friends who recently discovered their emotions, so I hear a lot about their emotions. But it seems like it's some kind of anomaly again, because are they unfit to lead, and the same people who talk about their emotions, are they unfit to lead? When it comes down to it, emotions are for just like the general population to feel them and talk about them, but when it comes to making big waves in the world, leading countries, you can't have that. because that's gonna emotions like make things worse.
What use are emotions when it comes to leadership?
Exactly. Yeah. That means actually you agree with me, because I say that emotions cannot lead in politics. Politics needs emotions put aside and then look at the needs of the country and pursue the strategies that develop the needs of the country rather than the emotions. What I talked about previously was that women politicians, they put emotions in politics, which doesn't work.
Okay. Is there a place for emotion in politics? Badger says no. Tommy, have you got any views on this? Come on.
Thatcher.
She was very full of emotions, wasn't she? She's quite...
Yeah, come on, hand it to... Come on, yes, let's give Tommy a round of applause.
Oh, no, please don't.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about politics.
Well, talk about the whole point about Talkaoke is we talk about anything you want to talk about. It seems we're stuck because of Liz Truss, we're stuck on politics, but there's a little bit about men and women as well and double standards, I think, in this conversation. But anyway,
I'm Maggie Thatcher's era.
Yeah.
So she spent how many years? So how could you quantify the fact that you say that women cannot be in politics? And very honestly, I really hate talking about politics. You don't talk about to your friends sex.
Yeah.
Well, you don't talk to your friends about sex, rock and roll, and politics.
Yeah.
But I was brought up in the Thatcher's days. So, I wasn't then really. I was quite young. I'm not young, but in those days, on Thatcher days, Thatcher did fantastically well. And then I was actually abroad. I worked abroad. And then she got kicked out in 89, 90, 91?
Something like that, Something like that. Yeah.
So you can't say, I'm sorry sir, you can't say the woman, I mean, she was fantastic. Okay, she had a few faux pas, etc., but she ran the country for...
Okay, so she's an example of a good female leader.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're talking about Margaret Thatcher, example of a good female leader, says Tommy.
But also, I mean, gosh, what was his name? It was during COVID times still. Matt. He had an affair and it was called Matt Hancock. Yes. Right. No. Like I don't care about. Like I don't think he was a particularly good politician. Actually, I don't think he was very significant. There's some kids singing. That's quite nice. But I really warmed to him when he got caught kissing somebody on camera, and to me, it was actually what I needed to get reinterested in politics. Showing to me that politicians are human beings and they do get frisky in those Houses of Commons. But I have to say, that makes me think like, okay, there is hope. They are human. They are not some kind of machines for making big decisions and planning. They're not computers.
So in a way, politicians need that human touch, and Matt Hancock snogging the aides.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of faux pas with.
Yeah. Do you think that made him more human?
Everyone's human.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate, so fantastically appreciate your comment. Well, they're all human.
Yeah.
But just don't do it in public.
Don't do it in public. Any thoughts on this side? Yep.
When you are a public figure, you have to behave in a way that doesn't undermine your personality. What Matt Hancock did, I think he was not aware that the cameras were focused on him. He wouldn't have done it in public. What Bill Clinton did as well, he didn't know that it would come out one day, otherwise he wouldn't have done it. I know that politicians, they are also human beings. They have got a life outside politics, but once they are public figures, they have to behave in a way that is quite different from the other people. But I agree with you that they are humans as well. They have got emotions. They've got to live their own lives. But politics is politics. Public life is public life. So that's...
I do actually agree with yourself. Sorry, what's your name?
Margot.
And sorry, sir, your name is?
Badru.
Huh?
Badru.
Badru.
Badru.
Okay, and I actually can see two sides of the conversation. So I'm not going to heighten. I'm in the middle.
So you're sort of stuck between it. Aidan, have you got any views on this? Yuriza, Laura, have you got any? You've got no views. Do you think politicians need to be more human? Margot?
But I think you touched on something interesting. If people knew that what they were doing, which was wrong, possibly, if they knew it's going to come out, they wouldn't have done it. And I think that's just that is the double standards. The point is to do or not do something despite the fact that your emotions dictate that you want to do it, like you're feeling really frisky for someone, you know, but you put this kind of like hard border on yourself, like I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, and I don't care if it's going to come out or not come out, whether I should or shouldn't. I decided to do it or not do it, and it's up to me. But this is the thing, people hope that they do wrong things and they hope that it's not going to come out, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
Like how many things? Yeah.
Your name?
Badru, B-A-D as a bad man.
Bad.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, maybe I'll change the name in the future, but yeah. So that is really politics. That's why we call it politics.
Yeah.
We have to politicize our being when we are in public life, and also to have our private life elsewhere. And that's what I meant actually, that they wouldn't have done it had they known that they are being watched.
So in the end, that is just people. If you know you're being watched, you wouldn't necessarily do it. I mean, earlier on we were talking about doing it in the park.
Yeah.
Would you do it if you were being watched, overlooked by these flats? Most people said no, so maybe that's just human. No, you had a point.
But some people actually get excited by this idea, and apparently it's a whole thing for people to actually go to public places. I actually don't know. I just thought about it when you said why people would do it. People do it. And there is some kind of excitement, probably a little bit like with doing dangerous things like skydiving or going climbing. Yeah. It's interesting because we do like to be on the edge, and maybe this is what makes us feel more alive, because we do get this rush of adrenaline, and we can literally feel our blood pumping through the veins when we get more adrenaline in.
So we're back to this adrenaline. It's the second time we talked about adrenaline, but last time it was in a sort of bad way, but now it's in a sort of good way. That we need a bit of adrenaline.
Yeah, I think what is harmful for the health is the prolonged stress. Because that was another fun fact that I read somewhere, I don't know where, that there is such an issue with mental health right now, people struggling with their mental health, because they have this prolonged stress, while our ancestors, if they had a stressful situation, it was a very simple thing. You either fight the stressful situation if it's like a tiger that is trying to eat you, or you kill the animal. Yeah, exactly. And then the stressful situation disappears, so you can relax. But because now we are living lives when the stress never ends, this is what causes all our issues. This is what I learned today, that the dopamine, is it the dopamine? Cortisol, sorry, is actually making your body more prone to illness afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think it's this thing that we need to learn to learn to release the stress, and we are not taught at school about it much, are we?
Yeah.
So maybe sex education and mental health education should get more
on the
social media, but like in a good way. Yeah.
Okay. Max, did you want to say something? You look like you did. No. No.
Sorry.
No. Okay.
You dragged me here.
Yeah. You have to get involved now. You're implicated now. So we're talking about should we? Yeah. It's kind of it's interesting that adrenaline. We're talking about, but stress can be a good thing. It can be fun. Some people get off on this.
Stress is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a chef.
Yeah.
I've worked most high-end restaurants for 25 years.
Yeah.
You work 70 hours a year, 70 hours a week, just to learn the best.
Yeah.
25 years is a long time.
So it's 25 years. So it's a high, is that? So you're saying that's not good for you? But isn't there some kind of buzz? You get?
No, I mean, oh no, you actually definitely do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because if you didn't want to do it, you would not.
Yeah. So there must be something keeping you in there. It's not just that. It's not the money. Is it?
I know, and I hate the word the passion, but it's a passion of cooking, really. To be honest.
Okay, so what I'm getting from that, Tommy, is there's a double edge here. That stress is bad for you, but somehow there's a sort of a compulsion or an addiction or something that actually draws you into it and keeps you going. You've been doing it for.
I think it's adrenaline rush.
It's the adrenaline rush, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, you start at 6, you finish at 12, and you got to be back at 6.
Yeah.
And you do that for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
It's you're either stupid or you're successful.
Okay. One or the other. Okay. Welcome to the. Oops. Hang on. Oops, wrong button. Okay, I meant to do this one, which is a round of applause. So we have got Margot, we have got Tommy, we have got Laura. Tell us your name.
Sam.
And we've got Aidan, we've got Badru, we've got Eurissa, Ramon, and we've got Max, and I don't know if I said Margot and Tommy. I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about stress. It's a weird thing, is stress. Like Tommy's a chef, been a chef for more than 20 years. It's incredibly demanding and stressful, but there's a kind of buzz, there's a draw to that as well. There's an adrenaline rush. So is there good stress and bad stress? One of the things we're talking about today. Ramon, have you got a view on this?
What about good stress or bad stress?
Yeah.
I think stress is necessary for humans because stress can obviously be bad, but in certain situations, if you're stressed to the point where it makes you think more and more, it will make you act out. And I think to an extent, you could say that stress is good for you. So yeah, that's it.
So it actually stimulates ideas, stimulates a bit of thinking, gets you thinking. Was there a point over?
I just want to backpedal to the whole mental health you were talking about and sex education. I know back in the States we have to have classes for that in high school.
Yeah.
And I think it's secondary school for you guys. But I completely agree. Mental health is something that needs to be talked about more. I have had 4 people in my life take their own life.
Right. That's
so.
Yeah.
I just, when I heard you say mental health, it just kind of hit me like. I completely agree. People need to talk about it more. It's not talked about enough.
Well, I mean, is it just in schools, or does it need to be talked about elsewhere? Where? How would you get that conversation going?
I think you can talk with anyone about it. You can simply go up and just be like, hey, how are you doing? I mean, it has been scientifically proven that if you see someone who you know that is looking down, if they are thinking of committing suicide, you cannot put the thought in their head. So if you say, hey, are you having thoughts of hurting yourself?
Yeah.
It's better than not saying anything at all.
Okay, so start the conversation. Don't be scared to start the conversation. We're talking about stress. We're talking about mental health. We have got Ramon, we've got Margot, we've got Tommy, we have got, what was it again? Sam, that's right. And Aidan, Badru, Eurissa. What's your name?
Jerry. Girma.
Girma.
Yeah.
Girma?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about stress, we're talking about mental health. Do we need to talk about it more?
They're not linked.
What's that?
They're not linked.
You don't think they're linked?
And I'm sorry to hear about your friends. You know, the 3 guys are doing the running.
Yeah.
You know, and their 3 children had they committed suicide.
Right.
And they were they were teenagers.
Yeah.
And it was hit purely for social, Facebook, blah blah. They looked at everything. So that's a complete different matter.
So you think is social media more as a cause of this? Ramon, you were going to say something?
Okay. So I think mental health is obviously very important because it doesn't matter how strong your body is, if the brain isn't capable of moving the body, then there's nothing. You're just going to stay in bed all day.
Yeah.
But I will say that nowadays I feel like people have become more soft and they will use mental health as an excuse to be lazy, unproductive and all those other sorts of things. Now, I'm not saying...
What you mean they just go, I'm having a bad mental health day today?
Yeah, no, listen, I understand mental health isn't important. I'm not trying to downplay other people, but some people, they will take the littlest thing, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, they bash the elbow against the table or something, and that will ruin the day. Or someone will say a bad comment to them online, someone who they don't know. And social media has made it so that I could say something to you from Australia or something, and that will affect your life, even though you've never met me or anything like that. So I feel like, in a way, social media has made people more soft, and I think that's a bad thing.
Okay, so we're talking about social media. People can say things online, and it can affect people. Do they overreact? I get that feeling, Ramon, you're saying they're maybe slightly overreacting. Margot?
You know, it's really making me feel because, yeah, like I mentioned a little bit before, some of my friends have started recently therapy, and they really openly talk about their emotions, and I think that's overall it's a really good thing. But I have also noticed that sometimes if something really trivial like happens, and then suddenly he's like, oh no, I can't come to work. Now, I think actually saying I can't come to work because something happened, whatever that is, I think actually weirdly it's a good thing because it makes you stop and think, why am I working? Like, I'm not saying everybody should not work. I'm just saying some people are unhappy in their jobs. So if you're taking time out to think about it or like reflect a little bit, what am I actually doing in my life? That's a good thing. But I sometimes have asked people how they were, and they offload all sorts of things which I cannot do anything about. And as a friend, I find that sometimes I just don't ask how people are, just because historically I've heard things which I just cannot help them with, or they're not.
Saying, how are you? And you just want to hear.
Last time I said to somebody who was telling me about their suicidal tendencies, last time I wanted to act on it, it was really flipped around against me. Like I made a whole big deal out of something like this. To me, it's not a trivial thing. Somebody trying, contemplating ending their life, it's a big thing. But it was completely twisted and misunderstood. So now I'm very, very cautious about when I ask about people's mental health, because I just don't know whether I can support.
Okay, we've got a new face at the table. Just before you grab Matt, tell us your name.
My name is David.
David, we've got Tommy, we have got Margot, we have got Gilma.
Yes.
And we've got Ramon, we've got Yuriza, we've got Badru, we've got Aiden, we've got Sam and Mikey. Man, we're talking about mental health. Sometimes you have a conversation, you just want to say, how are you? And then you get the whole thing, you get like 20 minutes later, you've heard about come on and have a seat. Right.
I'm going to have to go because I'm late to my college lesson.
Okay,
so Thank you very much, though. I really appreciate it.
Hang on. We want more of a final thought than that.
Okay.
You're talking about some big subjects about mental health.
Last message I guess,
what is the sort of, if there's one thing we could do to improve the situation, what could we do?
I'd say you should always be kind to people, because you never know what they're going through. Like, I don't know what you're going through right now, but you could be getting abused at home, for example, and I don't know that. No one here knows that. I feel like you should always be nice to people, but with that, there should also be a middle ground. You shouldn't be overly nice, and I think that you also shouldn't be too soft to the world, because the world can be very harsh, and nowadays people are like, I'll give you an example. If I'm walking around with a £1,000 chain in a very in an area with a high crime rate, it's their fault. They're in the wrong for stealing like my chain. They broke the law, but it's my responsibility. I hold some responsibility for waving that chain around. So I feel like people should, people who are suffering from depression and they want to kill themselves, I think that's very like serious and messed up. I feel like some people, they generally don't try and get better. They just sit and complain and they don't try and make anything better of it. I feel like if a depressed person, someone came up with this analogy. They said, if you're depressed, before you kill yourself, try get a 6-pack, then come back to me and tell me if you still want to kill yourself. So That's my final message for this.
People with six-packs, they don't want to kill themselves.
No, that's it. But I feel like if someone is really, really down low, when you go to the gym, when you make money, when you improve yourself as a person, you do all these other things, you'll lose that depression. You will break out of it.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays, instead of doing that, instead of actually getting up physically and doing something about it, they just give you these medications, these prescriptions, and they lie to you saying, oh, you need to take this and that. And then a lot of people, they end up worse after taking the medication.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you just did it naturally, instead of you had a healthier diet, you did stuff that made you went out of your comfort zone to do stuff, right? I feel like that would make you happier.
Okay, some really good points there. Thank you, Ramon. We've got a new face at the table. Tell us your name.
Yeah, John.
John. Thank you, Ramon. Thanks for that. Some really good few. Oh, hang on, Sam. We want a final thought from you as well.
Okay. What is this about?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be as long as Ramon. It could be about anything. It's up to you.
When he was talking, I thought about what he was saying, like getting a six-pack, and for the most part, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Another thing, like he said, be kind to people, like treat people how you want other people to treat yourself. I think like things just like smiling throughout your day, like subconsciously makes you happier.
Yeah.
Like I smile at Ramon. I've never seen him before, right? Yeah. And he walks past me, he gets on the train, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Right. He might think about that. He might think about that like while he's going to sleep, and he might think, wow, that's like someone smiled at me, like that was really nice. Like, so I think little things as well really just help people, like smiling or nodding or things like that. So just
adding to the mix. And we've got your friend over here. Does he want to say anything? You've been listening? No? Come back next year. We're here once a year. But thank you, Sam. We'll give you a round of applause and a cheer. So little things add up to bigger things. Come and join. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. Have a seat. There's no charge. We have got John, we've got Eurissa, we've got Badger, we've got Aidan, we have got David, we have got Guillermo. Tell us, you're going to come around here, tell us your name.
Anthony. I'm Anthony.
Welcome. And I'm Mikey, and who have we got over here? Come and have a seat. So we're talking about, at the moment, this is a Pop-Up Talk Show, free-form conversation. At the moment we're talking about mental health. And are there things that we can do, just as ordinary people, to improve our mental health? Who? Oh, John, we've got his name ready, John. I'm on it. But are there things, that's what we're talking about. We didn't get your name though, tell us your name. Ellen. And so we've got Guillermo, we've got John, we've got Eurissa, we've got Badger, we've got Aidan, we've got Margot, we've got David, we've got Laura, we've got Anthony, and I'm Mikey. And at the moment we're talking about mental health. Some younger people said there's things you can do to aid people's mental health. If someone wants to kill themselves, tell them, have you tried getting a six-pack? No one they didn't actually say this, but I'm quite intrigued by this idea. People with six-packs don't want to kill themselves. And just be nice to people, be kind. That kindness actually helps out. So these are, come and have a seat on the table of chat. I've just done a Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. Maybe we could just free up that seat. So that's what we're talking about. Has anyone got any thoughts on this? Any thoughts about this? I mean, I think it's great that young people
adopt a parrot. Maybe adopt a parrot.
Is that good for you? Is adopting a parrot good for your mental health?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And can you tell us your name?
My name's Anthony.
And
Bella.
Bella, welcome Bella. And Anthony. At the moment we're talking about mental health. We're talking about what is actually things that you can do to help people's mental. Everyone's acknowledged that we're living in a very stressed time. But what can we actually do to help each other out? What can we actually do? How do we get these conversations? How do we make it okay to talk about these things? These are some of the questions. Is it about just being kind to people? Is it about Aidan? Have you got?
I know earlier I mentioned just like pop up and talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't want to say contradicted, but was told that people have done that and just kind of had to turn back on them. Like I said before, I'm originally from the States, so I'm looking at from the United States point of view.
Yeah.
And that is how we are advised. I also don't know how serious it is over here in the UK, but in the States, the statistic is every 40 seconds someone commits suicide.
Yeah, so it's a big problem. I mean, you were saying earlier on that it's about actually just starting a conversation with people, and that's a really good thing. But is it that easy? Is it that simple when people are feeling down?
It's for me.
Yeah, it's for you.
I don't want that near me.
Yeah.
It is for me because I've got Bella.
Yeah.
People stop and ask about her. The kids enjoy seeing her.
Yeah.
The number of times in a day I get told, "Oh, that's made my day."
Yeah.
So I feel I'm contributing.
Yeah. Should we have more parrots? Is that the answer? Bella? Does Bella talk?
Yeah, she does when she wants.
Yeah, well that's in a way how Talkaoke works. It's up to you, Bella. If you want to say something, you're very welcome to. So, have a pet. Doesn't have to be a parrot or a bird. Anything on this side? What do we do to help out? Yep.
Oh, I wanted to pick up on Bella a little bit and getting animal for your mental health. Yeah. I recently adopted a kitten, which was a very spontaneous decision, but honestly, like mentally, I can't be in a bad mood whenever I'm just around her. Okay, she's such a mental health supporter, being adorable.
So it doesn't have to be a parrot, it can be a cat. Any views on this side? Anthony, Ellen, David, Guillermo, have you got any views on this?
Can you share
What's that?
Can you share a pet?
Can you share a pet? That's a good idea.
A community center where they got like pets and you go and see them there.
Okay, maybe rather than, is it a responsibility having a cat or a parrot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Bella it is. She
Yeah.
demands a lot of attention. They're very, very bright.
Yeah.
It's a little bit akin to having a young child.
Yeah.
They need looking after, feeding and all the rest of it. So she helps keep me sane.
Yeah.
Although I do shout at her when she bites me and things.
Could you ever imagine sharing Bella with another?
She won't.
She won't?
No.
Okay.
If someone around here starts stroking me or touching me, she'll get jealous.
She'll get busy with the beak.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't want to get bitten by a macaw.
Okay. Okay, so she's a macaw, not a parrot, or is that a macaw a type of parrot?
Yeah, macaw's a large parrot.
Okay. Hello, Bella.
Bella, is she continent or does she poop on your shoulder?
Does she poo on your shoulder?
Yes.
She does?
Most days.
Yeah.
I've got a washing machine. She's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's, no big deal.
Okay, so we're talking about, being pooed on actually is not that bad for your mental health, we've discovered.
It's an occupational hazard.
It's an occupational hazard, yeah.
I wanted to say, I don't have babies, but I'm pretty sure babies do poop on you as well.
Okay,
and,
so it's a
people
bit like
still have them.
Yeah, okay. No nappies? Would you ever consider getting a nappy? No.
Completely off the question.
Okay.
I like my fingers too much. Try to put a nappy on her.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, with the whole get an animal to help with mental health.
Yeah.
It was just midterm week this week at the college I'm going to here.
Yeah.
And we actually had a couple of staff members bring in their dogs, and you could just see the students who were stressed out about the midterm tests they had. You could just almost see the stress fading from them just being around the animals.
So animals are great for reducing stress, and we've mentioned parrots or macaws, cats and dogs. Any other? What about the idea of sharing a pet that David brought up?
I was just going back to, you said something about being kind, but I think that's just not really good enough, and sometimes can even be patronizing. But at least acknowledge people's feelings.
Okay, so you're saying being kind can sometimes be patronizing?
Inadvertently, it could come across like.
Okay. So,
but it's good at the first instant. Kind, of course, is right, but it's not as simple that with kindness everything goes away.
Sometimes it's not that simple, but maybe start off with kindness is a good start. Okay, so where do we want to take this conversation? Do we want to talk about the animals? Do we want to talk about being kind, maybe being kind to animals, and then moving on to humans? Any thoughts? Guillermo, you've not said anything yet.
No, I couldn't say. I don't know. It is a serious issue you are talking about. But, to share a feeling, you have to find the right person. But nowadays, it's very difficult to find that kind of person.
Okay,
that is my difficulty nowadays. I've got a lot of problems, which I wouldn't say. Who to talk? Because the minute you talk about it, then it is out. That's it. The good old days is gone because you share things, then it is on the social media. That's what is happening.
So it's not that easy just to open up and talk. You've got to find the right person. I guess it's a question of trust, would you say?
Yeah, somehow like that. Okay. Someone.
Not diminish it. A lot of people are diminishing mental health. Like it's a phase. When I was young, nobody had these mental health issues. Blah blah blah blah. So not be dismissive.
Don't be dismissive. Okay, so.
One of the problems is social media.
Yeah, you think? I mean, social media's been mentioned a lot today, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on it. I have nothing to do with it whatsoever. But a lot of people say to me, "Oh, we saw you on social media. Saw Bella."
So okay, So is there?
We don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I've got enough on my plate without worrying about who thinks I'm an idiot.
Okay, David, have you got any views on any of this? Is it about trust? Do we not trust each other enough? John, you've not said anything either yet.
I haven't.
Have you any views on any of these topics? Take it anywhere you want to go, whatever you're thinking.
Well, I think probably one of the things that was said is just developing empathy. And I think I just once heard something that I think struck me quite deeply, which is said, don't say I like to treat other people the way you like to be treated, but treat other people the way they want to be treated.
Okay. But how do you know? How do you know how they want to be treated?
That's the problem. That's the problem. And I think just creating the right environments in the cities and the neighborhoods. And creating sort of spaces. I think it is very important to create spaces where people feel comfortable and they're invited to share with other people. And I think the way the urbanism and the way the cities are being built is they are not conducive to that. So I think it is very important to develop create spaces.
So actually the spaces are very, very important. We've got a new face at the table. Just tell us your name.
Maureen.
Maureen, we have got Guillermo, we have got Ellen, we've got Anthony, we've got David, we've got Tommy, we have got Aidan, we've got Bella and Andy.
Bella's dad.
Bella's dad. And we've got Badru, and we've got Eurissa, and we've got John and Mikey. At the moment we're talking about mental health, and people have acknowledged that it is a big problem, but how do you actually, make a difference? Is it about having the right spaces for people to talk? Is it about being kind? Is it about starting conversation? Is it about just having more creatures like Bella around to actually make us just feel better? So these are some of the questions that we're talking about at the moment. What actually is going to, in a way, I think the concern here is about other people. How do we actually get that sense that other people will feel better, will feel nicer about the world we live in, I suppose? Laura?
I wanted to pick up on what John said. I really liked it. How not everyone wants to be treated the same, and what you said, sorry, I don't remember your name, about Anthony. Kindness. Ellen. Is how to know. That's the tricky part. Communication. And talking about our needs with each other. And very often we are very bad at communicating what we actually need or want, and we just think like, oh, but this is I don't know, this is the kind way, so I have to stick to that. But like some people, I don't know if they have for example, I heard stories about people with cancer, and they are just so done with people being kind to them and pity them, and they just want to be, kind of even sometimes in the harsh way, but they just want to be treated the same as everyone else. So I think it's just an example of different ways that people just sometimes need different things or want different things.
But there's also this question, I think, about how do you know, and are we scared to get it wrong if we get it wrong? Like sometimes someone with cancer, we can be too kind to them, we can, it's this patronising thing that you talked about as well, Ellen. So how do we judge it? How do we actually know how to say the right thing?
Well, it would help if we had a decent government that cared instead of the mess we're in now. There's no example being set all the way down. There are lying, conniving power-grabbing bunch of corrupt people.
Yeah.
And that's not a good example for the rest of us.
So it kind of sets a bad tone for the whole country.
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
A Prime Minister that reigns for 44 days and should never have got the post in the first place.
Okay.
It goes from bad to worse, doesn't it?
Okay, so you think the government doesn't help? Are you off, Yuriza? Give us a final thought before you go.
So no, if I would just say, just be kind towards each other. That's
I mean,
all
you know, earlier on we were talking about difficult subjects. How, I mean, you know, with what you do, working for Positive East, talking to people about sex, is it sometimes hard to broach these difficult subjects?
I can talk about the stigma for people living with HIV, for example. So much has changed throughout these 40 years, but a lot of people still holding that old knowledge of HIV as a death sentence, and people living with HIV face discrimination, they stigmatize, but then so much has changed, and then it's just about treating the other person as you want to be treated. I think that's the first approach. When you know the person, you can
so
treat them as they like.
It's also about getting to know people then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's some interesting food for thought. Could be yes. Do you want to? Are you saying? Okay, all right. We're going to have a change of hosts.
Give Mikey a round of applause. Starting from 1 o'clock, going.
I feel like the flow is gradually going, so we'll see where it goes. Oh, it's 3 o'clock already now. That's probably. But we're gonna. But just are we going to do a changeover? But at the same time, let's get a final thought from you at the same time, Badru, and maybe Margaret, you want to climb in at the same moment.
Yes. So then, I think. Yuriza has said it all.
Grab the mic.
We are from HIV and Sexual Health Charity, something that people don't talk about. We go to communities, raise awareness. HIV pandemic has changed ever since, and people are stuck with the information they had in the 80s. Things have changed now. There is treatment for HIV. There are so many ways one can prevent themselves from getting HIV. And, you know, people who are living with HIV, when they are on treatment and they take their treatment well, they are unable to pass on the virus to other people. So that's why most of us, we've got the cards over there. You have got, we do a lot of HIV testing. Early diagnosis is very, very important in that people, when they know that they've got the HIV, they can start to take medication and they won't be able to pass on the virus. And those who are living with HIV, when they take their medication, they will never get to the stage which we used to call AIDS. There is no AIDS anymore. So it's a chronic disease like diabetes. So we encourage everybody to test themselves and start treatment if they have HIV. Yeah.
So which audience are you dealing with?
As our organization is called Positive East, and we have clinics all over East London, Hackney, Tower Hamlets, Newham.
You mostly talking about, I'm a gay person.
Yes.
I'm very informed about HIV and all the HIV updates and stuff like that. So my question is basically, do you specify the people you're talking to, i.e. straight people, or drug user, or is there any community you're dedicated to, as opposed to the gay community?
Yes, we go to everyone. However, we do what we call targeted prevention, because when we look at the figures that we have, some communities are more affected than others, and we make sure that our resources really concentrate in communities that are more affected. Being a gay person, as you said, we've got many services that target the gay community, LGBT, and we also have many services targeting people from the black community who are very highly affected. However, our services are for all communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for answering all the questions that were put to you, and thank you for stopping by. Oh, there's one more question, so never mind me. Please, tell me. Please.
So, what's this monkey virus in?
Okay. Right. So at the moment, I'll just quickly introduce you. You're never going to leave. This is that's what you have to understand here, Badru. So I think your question is about monkeypox. Is that right? Yeah. Anybody's got any knowledge, any professional knowledge? It could be from Badru, could be from someone else, anyone else. But I feel like you've got the. Yeah.
So I'm just asking this one.
This is why Talkaoke is perfect. We'll try to answer all these questions. Interesting?
Yeah, spill the coffee. And I hate to say this, I'm not going to persecute anyone, but it was within the gay environment.
Okay, so is monkeypox something specific to gay environment? Is that true? Is that some kind of misinformation has been kind of put out there? Badru, do you know about this? We're getting some paper. Yeah.
Monkeypox is a skin condition, and it can affect anyone, not only gay people. However, as they say, it spreads from having skin contact with other people. Okay, so that's why sometimes we say it is a part of sexual health, because people having sex, they have skin contact with each other, but it is never specifically targeting gay people or LGBT community. But we see that in the gay community, it is more prevalent than other communities.
Thank you very much. Does that do we feel like we've got a bit more kind of clearer view of monkeypox and of HIV? Is there anything? I mean, we actually started this whole thing off. And by the way, hi, I'm Margot. I'm just going to be. Hey, thank you, everyone. Yay! Thank you. So thank you so much for you guys coming and sharing your thoughts. This is a Talkaoke, and we can take it in any direction we want. We started off talking about taboos, and I think sex was one of them. It was no other but Badru who dropped that subject. But I wondered, are there any other taboos? Are diseases, the taboos, skin diseases? Are there any taboos in the society? Is mental health one of these things? Is stress one of these things? Are there any other taboos that we are thinking about or trying not to think about because it's taboo? Can't even think about it.
There's lots of things we're thinking about, but do we want to talk about it? And I think it would make people feel uncomfortable. But sometimes it's interesting to have an uncomfortable conversation. If you build up the trust, then you can sometimes have a more Ramon here was talking about going outside of the comfort zone, and I think sometimes it's good to go a little bit out of the comfort zone, just not too far.
Not too far.
Yeah.
Is this true? I mean, is it something? I mean, do people come out of their comfort zone? Is it who thrives in comfort zone?
You talk about it, the taboo gets less and less. So you should talk a lot about anything that has a taboo, and then the taboo will get less.
Any particular taboos that you've heard of?
Mental health diseases.
Mental health, yeah. What is it about mental health that hasn't been said yet? What is it? I mean, we have obviously some thoughts, conversations about it already. But what is there? What else is there?
I don't know exactly what was discussed earlier, but like developmental disorders, like autism and things like that, there's a stigma and a taboo around that.
Okay, so
less and less, but.
Okay, so autism it's getting a bit better. People are getting a bit more kind of familiar with the subject and debunking it.
Autism's not a taboo. Autism is what you're. I mean, I've got a very dear friend, 35 years, and his child, she's autistic. Mm-hmm. And they're both so healthy, and I think it's a spin of the dice, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's about the.
I'm not saying it is a taboo.
But maybe it's depending on the
stigma. Yeah, okay. Things have a stigma, and then it becomes a taboo. But of course, it shouldn't be. It's like anything else.
Okay, so I mean, I'm interested in this idea. Who decides? Where is it decided something is a stigma? Obviously, in your environment, there's no stigma about your friend's child being autistic. Obviously, it's not a taboo for you either, Ellen, and you brought this up as well. But there is some. I pick up there is
in society there is a stigma attached to mental health, and whether we like it or not.
Okay, and do we know why? Like, is there an obvious answer as to why there are certain subjects which are stigmatized in the society?
Sorry. Because it's misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
So when there's a lack of knowledge, you have ignorance, and then stigma steps in. When it's better understood, then cancer used to have a huge stigma to it, much less now because it's better understood.